join the WhatsApp any updates. So I've started the recording now. Recording is in progress. Please join the WhatsApp group for any updates. And what I'll do is I'll send this WhatsApp group link in the chat. So hold on. If I just this is the link for our WhatsApp group, and I'm just sharing this in the chat. So I open up chat. And that gives us the WhatsApp link. So I send the WhatsApp link in the chat. Please, all of you, make sure to join this link, join the WhatsApp group. Okay, but I'm so happy that all of you have joined this meeting. So now I move to the next slide. So what is programming? A lot of you have responded that you already know these topics. They're already written programs. But just to go over the topic, it's simply writing a sequence of instructions for any machine to do the task. This can be a mechanical machine or a digital machine, or even the human brain can be the machine. And these sequence of instructions are called algorithms. Now, the word algorithm, probably some of you think that that's a weird word, but there's actually a deep history where that word comes from. I move to the next slide, history of programming. The word algorithm actually comes from the name of the Arab mathematician Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. He made some of the first algorithms, not for any machine, but for the human brain. These were essentially just math tricks. Like Vedic math, he made algorithms for your mind to speed up calculations. But the first person who made an algorithm for a real computer was this lady here, Ada Lovelace. She was a British woman who made the first ever algorithm in 1843 for the first ever real computer. But enough about history. Let's get to the details. We'll be learning the C language in this presentation. And I've seen that quite a bit of you are familiar with C, but quite a bit of you aren't. The C language was created in the 1970s by this person, Dennis Ritchie. And this was a very revolutionary language, right? Because it had many advanced features and was used to code many other tools and systems. So do you want to learn C? Can I get a show of hands? How many of you want to do actual programs today? If you want to program, raise your hands. How many of you want to learn? Okay, so, such an enthusiastic audience here. Enthusiastic audience. That's great. So now, how to actually run a program in C? I'll request everyone to lower your hands unless you have a question. Now, to run a C program, you have to use a certain tool called a compiler. And the job of the compiler is to turn your code into a file the computer can understand. Your code is just some code, some text that is in some language. But your computer has to understand that is ones and zeros. And the job of a compiler is to turn your code into ones and zeros, an executable file. C is a compiled language. But there are some languages called interpreted language. Some examples of interpreted languages are Java and Python, some of the languages that you already know. The difference between C and Python is that in Python, the code has to be run step by step. In C, you can compile a program and save it to be run later. In Python, whenever you want to run the program, the entire program has to be recalculated from scratch. This is the reason that C is so much faster than Python. Okay? If anyone has any questions, please raise your hands. Okay? Please raise your hands if anyone has any questions on this subject. Now, how will we actually compile our programs? We'll use this compiler called Online GTB. It's an online tool which it can compile code in 27 different languages. But the only important one is the C language. So I want everyone to go to this website, onlinegdb.com. I already have it open here. But essentially, I want all of you to open onlinegdb.com. If I just stop my screen share, all of you quickly open onlinegdb.com and just gives a thumbs up in the reactions if you can open it successfully. Okay, go to, and Johan's already opened it. That's amazing. I'll just send this chat.
I'm using Visual Studio Code. Is it okay?
You can use that, but we'll be using online GDB because in general it's an online tool and you can compile in many languages. If you want Visual Studio Code, then to run C you'll need to get C extension, and then to run it on your compiler you'll need you need a laptop compiler like Clang or GCC. That is all complicated. To make it simpler, what we'll be doing is just using this online tool, onlinegdb.com. You just open the website.
In online,
Yeah, what we're saying, Havish?
I have o- I have opened that website, but what should I select it? Should I select IDE or any other thing?
So do you have a window looking something like this? Hold on, I need to share my screen.
Which
If I share my screen, yeah, do you have a window looking something like this, Havish?
I can't see your presentation right now.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I got it.
my share now loaded. Do you have something looking like this?
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, that's amazing. Just change your language at the top. Change language to C. Okay,
Oh,
just do that.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Language. Oops. See. Yes, I have changed it.
Okay, that's amazing. So Havish has successfully opened. All of you just do the same thing as he did, and you should have a window looking something like this. I have actually logged in. That's why you can see my name over here. I've logged in to the program. There's no need for you to log in now. You can log in later also, but it's fine. As long as you have a window looking something like this, it is fine. Now, this is a simple print hello world program. It just prints hello world to the screen. You probably already know how to do print hello world in your language of choice, Java, Python, whatever. But in C, this is the program. So what we do in online GDB, you probably have a template looking something like this at the top. You have this toolbar. You simply click run. I will show at the bottom, this is the console. If you click run, it will load compiling program and then it will print hello world. Okay, so all of you just take the code that's already written, press run and print hello world, and just give thumbs up in the reactions if you have done this. Okay, Havish has already quickly done this. So he's getting, so even though he was doing VSC, he's easily getting used to this. And a lot of you are already quickly doing this, getting used to this platform. So that's amazing. We now have this tool. So a brief explanation of what online GDB actually does and what is this program. A brief explanation. So here's a comment. The text inside here is not getting executed. You can type in whatever you want into here and will not be executed because it's a comment.
I
You
have a
probably,
doubt.
yes.
Did that website write the lines from first to four?
Yeah, the website wrote the lines. You can delete
Okay.
them, they're not useful. This is just a comment. So now include stdio.h. If you're using Python, you're probably not familiar to this. In Python, you can just write print and then hello world. and it will just 1.
bracket colon state that statement required and colon and bracket.
Okay, so Havish, it seems that you are somehow, there's some internet issue because it's showing us on mute even though you're talking. So just be aware. So we have hashtag include bracket stdio.h bracket. Now what this means is in C by default, you cannot print to the screen. That is not in the C language. In C, you can do calculations, you can have functions, if statements. C by default does not allow you to print words on the screen. What you have to do is you have to include this library, this piece of code that someone else has already written for us. Standard input output.h. In this case, stdio.h, standard input output. We included it. So this is just a library include statement. And this will allow you to use functions like print in your program. There are a bunch of other functions that you can use. Standard def, standard bool, standard string, mat. There's a lot of other libraries. This is the one that we'll be useful for this course. Okay? So we have hashtag include standard input output dot h. Then we have the main function. Now, unlike Python, whatever code you write, you could just write the code outside the brackets in Python, outside anything directly, and it would run. But if we try to do this in C, we get an error. Because all the code has to be written inside the main function. This int is just a specifier for the type specifier. How many of you know types like int, float? Just raise your hand if you know types like int, float, and all. Quite a few of you know. But for those of you who don't know, this type int is just a type of data. So in C, there are few types of data you have. You can have int, which just means a normal number like 0, 1, 2, etc. A float is a decimal. 0.5 is a float. We have a char, which is just a letter like A. These are the three basic types. C does not have bools or strings. In C, a string is just an array or list of letters. In other programs, you would have a word, a string, but in C, you don't have words. You just have list of letters. C was made in the 1970s. At the time, the space on a computer was very little, so we didn't have enough space to implement a C. Likewise, we don't have bools. You can use 1 as a true and 0 as a false, but you don't have the values true or false built into the language. So these are just the three basic types. Havish, do you have a question?
Yes. Int means integer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It returns 0. 0 is an integer. So main's job is to just run the code and return a value. The type of the value is determined by this. So we could have float main return 0.5. And if we run this, it will compile and it will finish successfully. We could also have, let's say, char main return the character A. It run, but it will finish with a different exit code. So like this, we can return any value. Typically, we only return values 0 and 1. In the main function, it is a typically standard for you to return 0 if everything is gone fine, and return a positive integer if there's an error. But you can have a different function that sees the positive integer and uses that to fix the error. But now in C, by default, the type is an int. So I can remove the int. It will still think there's an int here. So if I remove this, it might trigger a warning. But the same code will still run and will print hello world. So after we call int main, we can simply print f hello world. Printf is a function defined in stdio.h. The thing about printf is in Python, you could easily print any value. You can print a string or you can print a variable. In Python, you could write int x equal to 1, int x equal to 1, and then hold on, int x equal to 1, and then you could type print x, and I will print 1. But in C, what you have to do is printf %d, x. Essentially, we'll go more detail into this in a later class. But the C compiler is bad at typecasting. It is really bad at typecasting. So print can only take in string. So what you'll need is you'll need to tell the compiler right into their face. There is an integer here. You have to typecast to a string. The integer is here. The string is here. Need to typecast here. Need to tell it right to a face. Otherwise, it won't typecast properly. We'll go into this in more depth in later class. But now we just have this program. When we run it, it prints hello world. It appears that some people are still joining. If I scroll back to the top, this Mona Nagarajan has joined. So just to summarize what we've done for her, we have gone to this website called onlinegdb.com. Please go to this website, onlinegdb, and then we have run this program and we have printed the text hello world. Now we can reformat this text. The thing about the print function, it doesn't automatically provide a new line. A new line is represented by the escape sequence, \n. Now, this is essentially the code word in C for new line. If you want this, there will now be an extra space below hello world, the new line. And because it doesn't provide a new line by default, I'll just make this a comment. This piece of code is exactly the same as if we wrote printf hello, printf world, and printf \n. So you'll often see people chaining these kind of printfs in a long series so that we can build more complex results. If we run this, you'll see we get the same result except the words are lowercase. So this is how you run the most basic program possible in C. And we can run it and compile it using online GDB. Does anyone have any questions about this?
The symbol used after end bracket, it is necessary to put everywhere while writing the code.
The symbol used here, which symbol? So the semicolon.
Wait a minute.
Semicolons are necessary in C. In languages like Python, they are not necessary. And in some other languages like JavaScript, they are necessary, but you can also skip them. In C, semicolons are absolutely necessary. Because back then, computers didn't have enough space again to interpret when the line breaks happen. As I said, C is a very simplified language written in the 1970s. So semicolons are necessary at every step of the way. But mostly you can ignore them, and most likely you can just use an ID like here. Beautify will automatically beautify your code and help you fix some of these issues. But it's still important to make sure that there's a semicolon each of these lines. If I miss a semicolon here, it's expected a semicolon, and now it's just a printf backslash n return 0, which is not a valid line of code. So, anyone else? Havish has done most of the talking in this class. Does anyone else understand or have any queries?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, yeah.
When did you learn programming C?
When I was 8, I took a class, and then after that, I started learning myself when I was 8 years old.
Oh, super.
So, does anyone else apart from Havish have a question? Uh, let's say B Surya Prakash. Are you there? B Surya Prakash, are you online?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just give a brief summary of what this code does? B Surya Prakash. Give a brief summary of what all this code will do, line by line. Hello? Okay, so I'll ask Johan. Johan, could you just give a brief summary on what these codes does line by line? Johan? Johan Vivaj? Are you online? Because I noticed that you were raising hands and interacting. So are you online?
He has informed in the chat that he is having some mic issues.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. So does anyone want to volunteer? Havish, could you just go line by line explaining what this does?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Third line, seventh line written in the program that function while compiling it, the function hides from the compiler, right?
This in the
I
seventh
can't
line.
understand that
Yes.
seventh line.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Same thing for lines 1 and 2. We can delete those.
I couldn't understand.
Uh, sorry if my voice is breaking. It's a comment. You can yes. It does not affect anything. You can delete it and it won't change the code. So this is the 10-line program. Havish, could you just give line by line summary of what this does?
First line is necessary for its name for the programming. If we meant dot h means also it is C language, dot C also it is C language, right?
Yes.
Third line we are mentioning that we are mentioning the time required this program after compiling. The time we are mentioning is mentioned as integer main, right?
Yes.
In fifth line we are giving the program that you should we are giving program to print some words.
Yes.
It is followed by 6 and 7. Next, ninth line, we are giving the time returned. In how many time, in how many seconds it should return. That like
Uh,
last line, we are ending the program.
I think you're mixing up time and type. Time and type. Int is a
I
type.
couldn't,
Are you mixing up time
I
and
could,
type? You said how many seconds it should return. Okay. Are you mixing up time and type? Return 0 means it will return the value 0. We'll
Oh,
see it finish with exit code 0. It just means it will return the value 0. This is not related to number of seconds at all. I can give it to
oh,
32,000.
okay.
This is the
I got.
almost the maximum int that it will return, and it will still run instantly. This is not at all related to number of seconds we are waiting. Essentially, this is
Okay, okay.
main.c, the program written. If some other program is calling main.c, then you will see that it returns the value 0 or 32,000 or whatever value.
Oh,
This has no relation to the time.
okay, 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 okay. I understood.
Okay, so that was our session on program. So this is simple feedback time. If you could just click on the link that I sent in the chat. Did you enjoy this session? Did you enjoy the session? Just quickly rate it on the scale. Go to menti.com with this code, or you could see the link that I sent publicly in the chat. Menti.com. So responses are coming in. That's nice. Some person says that they only rated like this thing on a 1 out of 5. Who was that person? Did that person have any internet issues or have problem understanding? So it still seems that a lot of people are responding, and people appear to like my session. So thank you so much for everyone who responded and participated to this session.
I have one doubt. How many
Yes.
programs do you know?
How many
How many programs do you know? Yes, yes,
languages you mean?
yes.
Well, if we go back to this, I know C, Python, HTML, JavaScript, CSS. I know R, and I'm working on a few other languages. For example, I'm trying to write in Ruby. I was trying to do some work with x86 assembly, and I'm trying to write a compiler for. I'm trying to in the future learn a bit more about lexical analysis, so I could potentially write a compiler for my own programming language.
Super. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the future of this course, because some people like Havish or Johan said that they already know a program language. They might think that this course was too simplified. So let's discuss what we'll be learning about in future courses. In future classes of this course, we'll talk about more simple C programs. Things like control flow, input, strings, arrays, and functions. We'll talk about these in the next 4 classes. 4 classes will be every Saturday and Sunday for the next 2 weeks. 6, 7, 13, 14 April. I'm planning to keep at the same time, but if anyone wants to reschedule, we could talk about it in the WhatsApp group. And after that is a future course. After this complete module of course, we will have a second course focused on learning advanced topics, sorting, algorithm analysis, and even creating your very own algorithm to solve a problem. So these are the future classes that we'll be learning about and the topics that you will understand. Now you might have questions on what are the fees of this course, how much to pay, since I have not mentioned it anywhere else. Well, I have good news for you. All money proceeds from this program will be donated to an NGO1 school. This is an NGO1 school called Nachiketa Tapovan. My mother does volunteer work at the school. I've gone to the school multiple times and actually given some lectures and help with the teaching there. For this course, it's completely voluntary for you to pay the fees. You can just GPay it to the number on screen, 888-640-2199. And all the funds raised from the course will be donated to this NGO run school, Nachiketa Tapovan. It's a school in my city of Hyderabad. And you can go to their website at nachiketa.org to learn more about the school. So if we just open nachiketa.org, this is the cause that your money will be going to. It's going to Nachiketa Tapovan, this NGO one school with branches in Hyderabad, Kodagal, and, and all your money will go to a good cause to help the children here learning and to help the teachers get better facilities. So I kindly request all of you or your parents to please voluntarily donate your money to 888-640-2199. We will forward it to Nachiketa Tapovan, and for this cost of fees is completely voluntary. Thank you. Thank you so much for attending this course. You can find me at this YouTube channel, The Funtastic Academy, or at my email handle, fantasticacademy@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session and for hopefully learning a little more about the language and the process. So I hope to see all of you on the next class in April. So bye everyone. Anyone has any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.